How many of us have been on a memorable family vacation? My most memorable family vacation was the Badlands National Park. The reason it was memorable was while we were in the park, we were on a little dirt road watching the buffalo when my stepdad decided that he had to turn the vehicle around because the buffalo was going to charge us. Now, the rest of the family remembers this very differently. We all remember the buffalo slowly meandering towards us when my stepdad took drastic measures to get us to safety from the large, lazy animals. This memorable vacation gave way to an interest in all that the Badlands have to offer. Today I will be going over the attractions of the Badlands National Park. After my family vacation, I've always been fascinated with everything about the Badlands. I've done an abundance of research, so the next time that I go, it'll be even more memorable. Hopefully not for the same reasons. The park is an inspiring national marvel that everyone should see at least once in their lifetime. The Badlands National Park has many attractions for vacationers, some of which include beautiful terrain, an abundance of animal life, and the geology of the park. With the beautiful terrain, there's no shortage of monumental views. There's nothing more beautiful than taking a step away from your everyday life and enjoying the great outdoors. Whether you choose to drive or hike, you cannot escape the views in the park. According to the Black Hills and Badlands website, the land has been so ravaged by the wind and water that it has become picturesque. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. This one's from the National Park Service website. It shows the different rock formations and then the valley below. Philip Stauffer, author of Geology of the Badlands National Park, states that the park is located on the high Great Plains of the southwestern part of South Dakota, east of the Black Hills. With hikes going anywhere from a quarter of a mile to 10 miles, the Park Service wants to make sure everyone stays safe and brings enough water with them in case they get lost. They also want to remind everyone to stay at least 100 feet away from the wildlife. Stauffer also goes into how the Badlands are ever changing because infrequent summer thunderstorms loosen and quickly erode the poorly consolidated sediments, resulting in the Badlands-style topography, which is the natural physical feature of an area, along excrement, which is the long, steep slope at the edge of a plateau. As stated by Stauffer, in the Badlands, they get an average of 15 to 16 inches of rain, mostly thunderstorms in late June. He also explains that the average high temperature comes in July and is usually about 91 degrees Fahrenheit, with the low in January being about 32 degrees. These conditions unite with local settings to form essential ingredients for the formation of the Badlands. These excrements formed in association with the Quaternary, the most recent of the three periods of the Cenozoic era. When you're looking at the monumental views, the Badlands are also great to see animals in their national habitat. The Badlands have an abundance of animal life. According to the National Park Service, scientists observed 39 mammals, 9 reptiles, 6 amphibians, 206 birds, and 69 different butterfly species. With over 244,000 acres, there's a lot of space to see untouched wildlife. The Park Service states that the prairie dogs are an important part to the overall ecological community of the grass prairie, with their burrows providing shelter from weather and predators, not only for themselves but other animals as well. The National Park Service also states that the visitors may observe both eastern and western birds. With over 206 documented, only 67 are shown to nest there. On the Black Hills and Badlands website, in 1994, the near extinct black-footed ferrets were reintroduced into the Badlands prairie. though they are rarely seen because they are nocturnal. One of the most well-known animals in the Badlands would be the bison, otherwise known as the buffalo. According to the National Park Service, the best place to see them is Stage Creek Rim Road and the north unit of the park. The National Park Service also says that the bison are large enough that their body size affords them protection against the cold. Larger mammals seek protection from the winter winds by taking cover in the canyons and low spots. National Park Service further explains that you want to make sure that you watch the animals from a distance. The animals are wild and unpredictable. If an animal reacts to you, you are too close to the animals. The geology behind the Badlands National Park is fascinating. The rock formations have been forming for millions of years. You can tell by the variation of color as the rock goes. At one time, a shallow inland sea extended from the Gulf of Mexico to the Arctic Ocean, right over the Badlands. According to Stauffer, the oldest rocks exposed in the park formed from sediments deposited nearly 75 million years ago in the western interior seaway. Stauffer further explains the seaway gradually vanished as the rising Rocky Mountains progressively flooded the region with sediments, and the land rose above sea level. These areas consist of dark shale beds which contain extinct marine remains. The word Badlands applies to any region where erosion and poorly consolidated sediments creates a rugged and barren landscape. The Badlands are known for the abundance of fossils that have been found there, according to Stauffer. They turned this area into a national park in 1978 due to the fact that too many people were taking the fossils, rocks, everything from the park. Once it was made into a national park, nothing can be taken out. The fossils can be seen on the Fossil Exhibit Trail, which also shows replicas of some of the extinct animals that were known to be in that area. In review, if you ever plan on traveling to the Badlands, you will want to see all the attractions it has. Whether you plan to hike or drive through the Badlands National Park, you will need to keep your head on a swivel. You won't want to miss anything the park has to offer. Just make sure to keep your distance from the buffalo. Wouldn't want them to meander too close.